Okay, welcome to anybody that cares to drop in. Um, I guess I'm more or less on time right now. I think at some point I'm gonna have to use the restroom. One of those things where, yeah, it's just one of those things that happens, you know. But right this second, okay, so okay, so it's not hopefully it's not like TMI or anything, but so I kind of need to use the restroom, but I decided that um, I should start this first because I'm not that bad yet. So instead of being late, being 10, 15 minutes or 20 minutes late, like I am half the time, that'd be better to come in here early, get started, and then if I have to go in the middle, I'll go in the middle. It's right away. So that's why I am here right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and really I should try to use AI less. Um, um, I should probably use it less. I've seen some videos and how 5 GPT 5.4 is out now and how Codex works and how you can make apps and whatever and um, it might seem like still leaning on wanting to have a subscription with ChatGPT because it's got a bunch of multimodal stuff. Well, multimodal, but bunch of stuff it can do. So I'm still thinking about it. Tuesday, March, March 10th, 26. Okay, so last night was starting to work on some of these, and I got some of the book titles down, and I sort of settled on uh, one book in that seven book that 7 6 book list. And then was chatting with another chatbot and eventually got to um, thinking up another. Figured I need a LOR for foot reference. So I made one more that sounds more like it could hold some secrets as to maybe secret tunnels, passages, etc. Um, since this is the foreign realms section, um, it ultimately doesn't help. It's just that Romeo and Juliet is the one that's important. But the two I picked um, are pretty sound. Let me see something here. When I canceled Heroes of Eternia, I think I might have left it back down to 7. Um, I guess what I should do is actually open the thing, because you know what? I don't know if that I can go back to Grok and I can go back to the discussion here, but the Brave Leo, I didn't open it as a regular discussion. In fact, they got a deal with this like a regular chatbot now, so you can actually go to the Brave Leo page and you can have a account that you log into. In fact, I even have a paid service. But so technically speaking, I could do that. But here, let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so the Heroes of Eternity was gone long ago. Okay, of course, 8 books to me doesn't sound right. It should be 7 books, but um, 7 fake books, 1 real book. I guess that works. Let's change a little bit. Looking over the various books. He looks over the various book titles to see if any possibly could give a hint on possibly could help. Okay, let's go back here. So here's the current list. It now has 8 books if you include Romeo and Juliet. Made it. Roger Wilkles Janitor Quest. I like that. Uh, these read like comic gag books, which is great for flavor, probably less convincing as clues. Right. Exactly like the kind of book someone would. Secrets of Goblin Town. I want to check looking for hidden passages. It fits the tunnel underground theme very well. So from Roland's perspective, the ones that feel most reasonable. Yes. Um, and yes, these 3 are the exact right ones. I figured none of the sci-fi books would be appropriate for the comedy fantasy tone, sure, but for something that works as a valid device in the game, no. Plus, Roland is still a kid. A smart kid, but a kid plus. Yep. Even a standing point. Sounds like a Kingdom guidebook, which might include maps, real secrets of Goblin Town, practice screams, hidden passages underground. Romeo and Juliet, the odd one out, but emotionally resonant once the note from its mother appears. Yeah. Sci-fi books feel more background flavor on the shelf. They help sell the idea the library collects books from all kinds of realms, but Roland wouldn't realistically expect a transport malfunction manual to reveal a hidden dwarven tunnel. Exactly. The other subtle thing your list does well, too, because you chose both thematically point towards tunnels of kingdoms. Exactly, that's why I did that. Reasonably think maybe the clue is in one of these fantasy lore books. Then Romeo and Juliet becomes an emotional reveal. Um, yeah. The fact that Romeo and Juliet is even different than the rest of them. Uh, Obviously, it's different because it's an actual play, but also uh, kind of doesn't fit in with everything else, which would conscious, oh, it would subconsciously uh, point itself out like, oh, here's some whimsy and fantasy and comedy, but then there's this play that's a real drama, that's a real play. So maybe that's important. Whimsical fantasy, comedy, sci-fi manuals, parody, adventure game memoirs, playful guidebooks, then suddenly Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. Even the player doesn't consciously think about it, their brain is one of these things is not like the others. The difference expressed on three levels at once. Tonal contrast, everything feels like in-world or humorous books, but Romeo and Juliet is real classical, serious, historically important, so it quietly stands apart from the joke titles. Genre contrast. Most of the other books feel like memoirs, guidebooks, manuals, lore books, but Romeo and Juliet is a play, which makes it structurally different too. Players subconsciously notice format differences like that. Emotional relevance. Once Roland reads the note from his mother, the choice suddenly becomes logical book's personal book, and the correct answer being the sentimental one is narratively satisfying. Well, this works especially well in adventure games. Well, adventure games often use this exact principle. The correct object looks slightly different from the rest, not obviously highlighted, just a little out of place. Examples of how designers did this historically. Single red book among brown books, the one serious object among comedic ones, one item in a real world grounding. Same thing with tone instead of color. Laugh at the shelf first, then they'll say Shakespeare and think, huh, that one's oddly normal. And curiosity is uh, so right now being the format it is, uh, means he'll pick these and use them automatically, whereas in the full text adventure plus being graphical stuff all the way up to the full point adventure. Um, will allow you to examine each book. Maybe put it in your inventory. You might have a load of books that don't mean anything. While really a problem for another day, another phase. How far do you let the comedy fantasy go? Because most adventure games let you take everything that's not down. I mean, that used to be kind of a joke. Because once we started having larger disk space and maybe more memory, we could store more inventory items. So it became the equivalent of a meme or trope. So do I let you only carry a certain amount of books, or because this is fun adventure story, I don't really have to worry about real world physics too much. I'm just thinking, can he carry all of them, or is it like only some? And honestly, I can also do it without real world physics. Like, he can only carry 3 at a time. And work it into the story like the library only lets you check out 3 or so books at a time. As an inventor, I've already explored most of the possible answers. Triggers choosing the one that fits your tone and future puzzle design. Unlimited inventory, the cartoon pocket, mini LucasArts can, a chicken fully in the middle of the ship's anchor, a stack of books, 3 mugs, a rare chicken, live monkey. Also, simultaneously, this works because the game operates on cartoon logic, which I should be able to operate on cartoon logic. Simple, no player frustrations, puzzle combined, lots of violence, inventory bloat, players forward, everything forever. For a comedy fantasy game, this is totally acceptable. Take everything but limit usefulness. Example, Monkey Island 7 Max. Players can pick up a lot of items, but most items have specific puzzle use. Junk eventually becomes irrelevant. Keeps exploration fun, lets players experiment. Cons inventory can get cluttered. Soft inventory limits. Some serial titles you can carry only X items. In story terms, this might be a backpack space, pocket, satchel, librarian, checkout limits. Prevents hoarding, forces decisions. Cons player often hate inventory limits if puzzles require backtracking. Yeah, that's true. I never thought about that. If I only allow them to take 3 books and they get the wrong books, they'll have to come back and change them out and find the correct ones. Context inventory, modern design. Some modern adventure games only let you carry sorted relevant items. If something won't matter later, you simply can't take it. Very clean, presents player less playful experimentation. Close the door at the top of that. Actually, for a kid can have all kinds of junk in his pocket. Although I don't know about nowadays, and mostly I noticed this phenomenon from like old movies where they're showing it back in time, like a Tom Sawyer or some such thing where they have the boy and he's got like a frog in his pocket and he's got different bugs. He's got buttons and maybe a penknife and all kinds of goofy stuff. I don't know if kids are like that nowadays, boys in particular, but that could play into that. That might take them unless needed. Take useless items, right? If you want a small joke, occasionally acknowledge the absurd inventory. Example, Roland checks his pockets. A book, a lantern, 3 keys, a cup, and whistle. Have a sandwich. Um, yeah. Um, Now, I primarily get this from old movies about older times. Think Tom Sawyer, or anything where there's a boy playing uh, in 1800s or a turn of the century, 1800. Um, and usually I'll have junk in their pockets. A live frog, some marbles, a rock or two, pen, knife, um, random stuff like a ball of twine or just pretty much anything and everything. So that would fit Roland as well. He picks up junk because he's a kid. Pockets full of stuff. Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn, a lot of plastic kids in literature have pockets containing things like nails, a penknife, rocks, mysterious junk that might be useful later. It communicates something about the character immediately, curiosity, improvisation, kid logic. Lines briefly with an adventure game protagonist. Roland being a kid means he collects things instinctively, he doesn't think about practicality, he assumes everything might be useful, which is basically the entire philosophy of adventure game inventory systems. They'll ask why you're carrying that, kids ask what if I need it later. Adventure games run on the second mindset. You can lean into it a little. Occasionally you get to add small lines like Roland slips items already overstuffed pockets, or Roland adds it to the growing collection of potentially useful junk he's carrying. Yeah. Also gives you flexibility later. Roland picking up weird objects feels natural. Players won't question it if it's a comedy fantasy tone. So Roland can absolutely be carrying a book of strange key with twine mysterious rock. Like, strange possibility. At some point later in the game, you could even roll and dig through his pockets and discover something he forgot about. How comes on my roll, bit? Now half a biscuit, and the thing he was actually looking for. That kind of moment feels kid adventure. But yeah, it's Roland having pockets full of random stuff, so not only believable, it's dramatically perfect. Okay, I'll think about that. I might lean sort of to what he said, um, where he looks over in books and maybe he stores the two decoy books and the Romeo and Juliet, um, but none of the others. So it's context like you said. It's smart, so grabbing everything these something books seem useful. Keeps your later puzzle system clean. When you reach the full adventure phase, you won't have to worry about why players look carrying Roger Wilco's janitor quest. The three he takes make sense. King Graham's Guide to Javentry might contain Master Secrets, Underhill's Secrets of Goblin Town, Romeo and Juliet unknown relevance at first. So Roland's basically thinking these three might help. Of course, Romeo and Juliet becomes a real clue. Now, the thing about Romeo and Juliet is it's not based on whether it be logical. It's only based on, especially when the player looks at it, going, this doesn't fit here, for one thing, and they want to interact with it. And then when interacting with it, its relevance becomes useful then. Subtle pacing benefit. Shelf, 7 choices. Shelf. It's actually 8 choices right now. I almost wonder if I should remove one. I have a little bit of, I wouldn't call it obsessive also or anything like that, but it's sort of like that. I like things boundaries. I like certain numbers that make sense. Like 3, 5, 7. Sometimes even numbers like 2. But not a lot of even numbers. So 8 sounds weird to me. It trips that weird out. What do I want to call that? Instinct. Nothing inherently wrong, but kind of like an itch you can't scratch kind of thing. Balance and readable, so you're rating 3, 5, and 7 is pretty normal design. Not really an OCD thing. A couple of reasons for that feeling. Odd numbers feel more natural. With an odd number, you get a center item. Our brains like that because it gives a focal point. Even numbers feel symmetrical, which can sometimes feel a little rigid or mechanical. 3, beginning, middle, and end. 5, classic list side. 7, many but still manageable. And 8, on the other hand, can feel like one too many for a quick scan, especially in something like a bookshelf list. In your case, though, you actually have 2 different design layers. Flavor layer, the shelf, all the books visible. Interaction layer, the choices, pulls 3 down. Players really only interact with 3, so that's already a clean number. Because of that, the shelf itself can safely be 6 to 8 books without hurting gameplay. Your brain gets itching about the number, though. You have a couple of easy options. Trim to 7. Just remove the weakest gag tile. 7 is a very comfortable number for lists. Add 1 more for 9. 9 actually works well for shelves because it feels full but chaotic, like a real library section. Leave it at 8 because it might actually feel more realistic. Real shelves rarely line up to tidy narrative numbers. My design instinct. If I were tuned purely for readability, I'd probably go 7 books total. 7 lets the player quickly scan the jugs without feeling long. Like your gameplay only depends on 3 selected books, so you're already in the safe zone. Funny thing is, your brain already following classic storytelling number pattern. 3 interactable books, 1 correct answer, 2 decodes, classic adventure game structure, whether intentional or not. Okay, got it. Okay, so let me go back to the list here. And why? Wait a second. Send link. Oh. Somebody actually said want the link. Okay, let me go to self-promo because the link's in self-promo, believe it or not. It's not very far up, of course, and here is the link. Copy. I didn't even notice his deal in there. I was just in Redot off topic, and there we go. That's not what it, well, okay. Let's back this up here. Um, you can always find it in self promo, but I don't mind copy pasting it. Copy pasta, as they say. I'm streaming. Hold on. Okay. Let's go back to this. Let's see if I can remove one, or if I want to remove one. Um, Actually, if I had to remove one, I'd probably remove the Engineer's Big Book of Transporter Malfunctions. It's funny and stuff, but of course, I like Back to the Future, and of course, all these really are just jokes, except for King Graham's Guide to Daventry. It's less of a joke, but more of a, like a reference and more of like a thing. And Underhill's Secrets of Goblin Town, it's the same way. So these two aren't really joke deals. They sound like valid guidebooks, but they're also references. This is reference to King's Quest, and this is reference to Lord of the Rings. Um, and then, of course, this is actual real play by William Shakespeare, which is the odd one out, and that's the one that actually is important. Um, so maybe I will do that. Maybe I will remove. I think I might remove. Um, okay, so I think I'm gonna remove that one. Okay, actually, I should. Um, that's actually fine, but let me. Where's the stupid reply thing? Okay, there we go. Um, well, you can also check out YouTube Kick, and it's quite fine if you don't have accounts or don't want to log to anything. I'll still try to respond um, to here. Anyways, I have Discord and RC open, so it's cool. Whatever. Gonna train with my code to replace me. I see. Okay. Yeah. A fair warning. I do use AI chatbots. Most of the time, it's for bouncing ideas off of. I don't really copy anything they come up with. I just use it uh, to solidify my ideas, my own mind. I do copy occasionally if it's good and or creative. So anyways, yeah. So I do use right now I'm using ChatGPT, but do use the AI chatbots quite a bit to bounce ideas off them. So I know somebody mentioned um, that they thought I was using AI too much, but when I don't have a person to bounce ideas off of, it works really well. Just like rubber duck debugging, right? Rubber duck debugging, when you have a bug, you can't figure it out, so you try to explain it to an animate object like a rubber duck, and and usually your brain can help solve it because now you've talked it through and you see the kind of the logics, and sometimes you can solve your bugs. Well, this is a similar idea where you talk to some inanimate object, right? Uh, and to say your ideas, just so it it comes up with something in your head. And the good part about this though is it talks back like a person, so I can essentially bounce ideas off of. The only thing I don't like, especially about ChatGPT, is that its answers are pretty effusive. What do they call that? Effusive in praise. In other words, like you do the exact right thing. This is great. I like this. Blah blah blah. I'm kind of like, yeah, but whatever. It still does. It still works. Okay. Anyways, let's get back to the show here. Okay, so if I have to remove one, it's probably this one. X. Okay. Okay, Control Z. Let's do something first. Let's copy this. I'm actually just gonna copy this and put it somewhere just so I have the full list if I want to reference it later. So let's open my and this my notes file is just a mess. It's 281 pages now, and it's just all of my notes, all the different notes. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm saving this. Now, like I said, if I had to, the engineer's big book of transport malfunctions would be the one I cut. So let's go ahead and cut that. All right. Um. Okay. So let's go back here. So I decided to chop this out. Um, it's the one that's, I don't know, most out of place, even though the BTTF 3 reference is also slightly pseudo scientific in nature. It's one that leaned the hardest into pure sci-fi, while the rest of the shelf mostly is fantasy, adventure, literature territory. Now cluster much more naturally around the same vibe: fantasy, pseudoscience gag, E.L. Brown. Um, Actually, I need to make that Dr. E.L. Brown or Doc. I'm gonna do it like Dr. E.L. Brown like that because it's a reference after all. Okay, let's save that. I actually I probably explained this if you've been in here before, but I don't know if I would include the HD part, which is hyperactivity, attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder. Uh, ADD is attention deficit. I do know that I was diagnosed as hyperactive when I was a kid, especially if I ate anything with sugar and the colors, especially the colors, like eating colorful cereal. The colors would really affect me. And at one point, because of well, okay, so that made me hyperactive. That wasn't necessarily attention deficit. I think my family has this attention deficit thing. We all go through it, I think, at some point. But I don't get much hyperactive anymore. Obviously, I'm an adult. I'm an older adult now. You wouldn't know it to look at me, but I am 50, and the good news is I'm not yet a senior citizen because senior discounts only start at 55. So I got 5 more years. I'm not a senior. I'm just an older dude, which is the way it is. Okay, good. Um, okay, so um, okay, so let me get back into it. Okay, so um, after this is actually a pretty long list as far as how many lines are. So I'm gonna have to think about that maybe when I list them later. Uh, okay. Okay. Anyways, he settles on three, which may help. Uh, first, where's it at? Ingram's guide entry. Looks like it could be useful. Here, do like this. Um, Underhill's Secrets Goblin Town is a little closer to secret passages and such. Uh, Finally, Romeo and Juliet, because uh, it stands out, and also because there's something familiar about it. Okay, boy, that's actually a long. The list isn't long. The list is fine, but the list in on the page, like okay, so the Redot, or otherwise also Godot, um, has a deal where it actually has automatic scroll bars. So if your text extends past the height or the amount of lines, it'll let you scroll down. And I was trying to keep everything down to a page. Now this looks a little bit long, so I'm not sure if this would um, how long that what that would look like because it looks pretty long to me. So I think I was only deciding on a max of like 20 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This might still fall into it, not because of, well, it's because it's about 20 lines of text, and then a few lines down below of the actual, you know, commands, right? So, okay. Hit 1 to check out King Graham's. Oh, you know what? It says on 3, which may help. I don't know if this is how I should do it, but I'm gonna do it this way. I got King Graham's Guide to Daventry. Hit 2, which check out Underhill's Secrets of Goblin Town. Hit 3 to check out Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. I'm sure that an actual Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare doesn't say W.M. Shakespeare or whatever. It probably says his full name, but we're doing this as sort of a thing that's a reference. That is, I'm not spelling it out deliberately, although you know exactly what WM means. It's just it's short. It's shortening it a little bit to kind of fit in this vibe. You know, um, like when they use initials because they don't actually want to use their full name, kind of thing. That's just the idea. Okay, so next thing I need to do is let me think for a second. Um, I should probably go ahead and start filling in this other stuff. The location one here. Okay. Let's fill in the location. Love and foreign. Foreign realms. That's what it's called, I believe. Yep, Love and Foreign Realms. Uh, chapter, and that's chapter 11, What to Do About Quicksilver. Okay. Actually, we can copy that. Copy. We can copy that. Copy, copy, copy that. Copy. Oversized dwarf. Okay, this also should have paste, and this should also have finding way a way in. Okay, that's good. And okay, so then now we go down to here, and we're going to put the paste. I might as well go ahead and paste the chapters over here. Urban Legends of the Luminar. Urban Legends of the... Now they're all capitalized, even the of and the and stuff like that, just because it had to do with title. I had some Python scripts where I'd have a title and it would extract the title and put it in the title field, and so that means all of these are going to be capitalized. Urban Legends of the Luminar. Um, okay, and then let's go ahead and go over to the other side here. And we'll put that in there. Paste. And we'll call this the Smuggler's Gate. That. Okay. even though there's nothing in there yet. All right. So we have 3 books. Okay. And I think yeah. Actually, let's do something here. We're gonna expand this out like even further. Okay. Because this is gonna have a thing in here, and it's gonna have 6 pages, 5 main ones. It's gonna do my diamond pattern. So this thing is what I call the diamond pattern, and this is also a diamond pattern. It's just this is more like a semicircle. Um, the reason I call it the diamond pattern is if you draw a line from these two in between these two, you'd have it like it's sort of like how a diamond is like this, and then it's like cut, and then it's angled at the top, like beveled or whatever. And that's sort of what this looks like, kind of. Not entirely, because this is like raised, but kind of what it's like. So I call it diamond pattern, like an actual gem diamond, not a diamond shape, right? Okay. That's stupid. Oh, yeah, I know. Okay, so anyways, I'm gonna be recreating this shape in here, so that's 6 inside here. Okay. And let me think. Eventually it'll be a puzzle when I actually get to a full-fledged adventure game, but right now it's just a kind of choose your own adventure thing. And but anyways, let me get on that. Let me go ahead and let me add. Let's save room data. Let's make sure this is saved. Let's clear the output out. Output does a lot of things. Why? Because I have the description. Description is exposed in the inspector, and it updates when you type it in. So when you type it in, it updates, and then it outputs down here when it's updated. And so it's a lot of text. So sometimes when you get so much text in there that when you try to save or try to do something, it takes like several seconds, so it like lags. And so I like to keep that clean. When I do the layout tool, when I actually work on the layout tool again, um, it's not going to matter. You'll type stuff in, it'll update on screen and stuff, but it's not going to like output to an output window or anything like that. It'll just literally be you'll just be editing the room. And I call it a room because the script is a room class. Okay, room class has description. It's got chapter, title, and ID, and it's got an array for doors for the door specs, so that I can use the editor uh, to create doors. So I create doors in here by coming in here. CH equals choice. Destination is actually your destination. Pretty simple. It's only 2 things, and then I am with a semicolon, which is not strictly necessary, but I haven't been hassled to go in and change it and not worry about the semicolon, which is it's kind of unnecessary because I was thinking it would be helpful to scan till you hit the semicolon, and the way the way it works, it doesn't do that. It doesn't actually use that. It puts it in there, but it doesn't actually use it. Anyways, okay, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and create 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then what we'll do is um, New location. Location 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. It almost doesn't matter what I do, but we'll do this. Here, we'll do that. Do that. Okay. We'll do... Wait a second. Something's not right. Why? That's 6, right? So 5. Okay, let's do it this way. Let's just, it doesn't really matter here, but let's do that. Oh, I see what I did. I see what I did. There we go. It's like that. That would work. Okay. So what I should do, go ahead and do is... Should go ahead and name him right now. Okay. Well, I'm gonna do like I always do. I always put number 2 as the center, as the main thing. Uh, okay. Let me look at this because I think I did something wrong. This has the 3 in it. This has the 3 in it. So, um, go ahead and we're gonna delete this. That. Because this is actually going through 1, 2, and 3, and then this is actually 4 and 5, kind of like that. But since this is page 4, it's technically page 4. This one is actually, what page is this? Oh, this is page 3. Okay, but since page 4 is there, give me a second. Be 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7. All right. Let's go up here. Let's copy. Let's copy this prefix. Copy. Okay, now this is page 3. This is page 4. And the order of the pages doesn't matter, but I have to think about this in my head because of the way it's configured. And I'm essentially just continuing off. So the last page was page 4. So the next one's going to be page 5. And maybe this should be page 5. 5, 6. It almost doesn't matter what I choose. I could do this like 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then make that 9. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll make this 9. So let's go ahead and put this in here. Paste. Oh, I didn't think. What? Oh. Chapter. Actually, let's go ahead and paste the chapters in. Right? Chapter 11. Chapter 11. That. There is that, and there is that. Okay, so all of them should have a chapter title in here. Okay. We're going to name this 9. In fact, 9 is going to be the main central deal. And since it's at the bottom, that's how we're going to work that. So let's go ahead and copy that. Come in here. We're going to go ahead and paste. And instead of being, this is actually going to be P9 right here. Okay. This one is going to be P8. This one is going to be P7. This one is going to be P6. 6 and oop. And this one's going to be P5. And Bob's your uncle. Okay. Now, I still have to name them. Okay. So here's what we do. Okay. The question is, what do I name the pages? Do I just name them straight up? Like when I was doing the dragons, I named the dragon names, but do I name the book names here in the actual title name, subtitle name? Maybe that'd be most apt. Maybe that's what I should do. I should just do that, right? Okay, so this is going to be I'll just say it straight out. It won't be by William Shakespeare in there. It's just a straight out name. Romeo and Juliet. I'm not sure if I'm spelling Juliet right because there's different ways to spell Juliet. Let's check this out. Romeo and Juliet. It's just a single. Juliet. Tragedy by William Shakespeare. Yeah, the weirdest thing to me about Shakespeare's plays, a lot of them are tragedies. Most of them are tragedies, right? And to me, they're just weird, stupid, dumb soap opera stuff, like something you'd watch on TV, some crappy drama on TV. If I were watching Romeo and Juliet, uh, on TV in modern times, modern English, but all the same content, right? I'd be bored out of my gourd. I would think it would suck. In fact, the end sucks. You know, uh, the one goes and pretends to commit suicide because they don't think that they can marry or they have the other. And then I think Romeo does that. And then Juliet comes in and thinks Romeo is actually dead, even though he faked his death. And she takes actual royal poison, and then she dies. And then he wakes up and then finds out she's dead, and then he kills himself. Or something of that nature. I don't even know if he kills himself at the end. Um, it's one of those things where I only went through it once in high school. And if you were to ask me any of these books, if any of these books were written in modern English and just sold as books, I'd say they're total crap. Like, why would I want to read about something like that? But the deal about Shakespeare is his use of the English language. And the other thing I thought was funny, I've already said this before, but you can look it up. Supposedly, Old English, Shakespeare's English, not even old English, but Shakespeare's English, supposedly his plays are in rhyme of the English of the day. And so they were actually rhyming. So part of his deal is how he communicates through his writing. So the writing is supposed to be the ultimate thing. The ultimate thing is how good the writing is, not the story, the crappy story, because the story is still a crappy story. But supposedly it was a big deal because of his command of the language and stuff. And but we worship the stupid story, like the stupid tragedy, which is a stupid tragedy, really. But anyways, I don't know why I went off on that. Sorry about that. Let's go back. I want to see if I was spelling that right. Romeo and Juliet. Romeo. And before that, before I yeah. So I have to fill out these names, or I have to fill out the IDs before I can save it. Otherwise, it's gonna save it as like a new location or something. And anyways, so Rowan finds out his maternal grandparents were a dwarf and a gnome, and dwarf and gnomes are sworn haters of each other. Um, Even though they're two distinct races, technically they're the same root. They're the same race. It's just when they split off with their rift, the way the gnomes acted and stuff, and the way that they live and stuff. Eventually, they become shorter, fatter, uglier than dwarves ever would be. So technically, they're the same from the same root, the same people. Anyways, let's not get into that. Let's go back to the deal. So this is Romeo and Juliet. Um, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to which one? King. I don't, should I do King Graham's Guide to Daventry? Or should I just say Guide to Daventry? To Guide to Daventry. Okay. Now, this is where it gets tricky. If I go over to location 4 here, Guide to Daventry. Because essentially, these are the same page. Okay? So this is Guide to Daventry. This is also Guide to Daventry, right? I wonder how that plays up in here, though. Oh, actually, it's not going to matter, because when I save it and when I reload it, it's actually going to come up with the ID, the actual file name here, I think. It's kind of weird how it does it, right? Because I have a name, and so it shows the name here, but anyways, Guide to Daventry. Okay, these Guide to Daventry. This one is Underhill's. What do we call that? Where's good old Underhill? I need to pull up the list here. uh, oh, come on. Where is the list of books here? Where's the bookshelf list? Good. Underhill Secrets of Goblin Town. I'll put Secrets of Goblin Town just to make it easier on me. Okay, so Secrets of Goblin Town. That. Okay. Secrets of Goblin Town. That. And then there's also Secrets of Goblin Town. And again, the title, Secrets of Goblin Town. Done and done. And there's Romeo and Juliet. And there's that, and there's that. Okay, so the thing I do here now is I save it. I haven't done the door linkages yet. I'll do that in a moment. Okay. We'll save room data, like so. We'll reload scene. What in the heck happened? What? How do... I see. Two, P3, P4. I see. I don't know how I pasted that in there, but apparently I did, so I screwed that up. 011 underscore actually, what are we on? Title 2, page Title 2, page 4. Dash. Save room. There we go. Making sure everything's like it's supposed to be. Okay, so now I'm going to do the door linkages before actually adding the text back in there. Door linkages, door linkages. It's crazy. This is taking so long. Because the other part's going to take just as long too, because I got to do kind of the same thing. I got to add a bunch of stuff in there, in both sides, and then so that's kind of crazy, I guess. Okay, so let's go ahead and this guy. Let's build the door specs to this guy. Copy. We're going to put it in this guy. Door specs. We're going to paste. Okay. Then this is not going to have that as destination. So B. Right, the Mines of Sadness. Okay, that's down there. All right. So basically now what I need to do is I need to flip and 3, okay. And then let's go ahead and now what okay, so that what's the 3 choices here? King Graham, Underhill's Secrets of Goblin Town, and Romeo and Juliet is number 3. See, normally, I don't know, maybe I should do it opposite. Maybe just leave it like, nah. I'm going to do this differently here. We're actually going to put Romeo and Juliet is going to be 2. And Goblin Town is going to be 3. Oop, 3. Okay. Now, guide to Daventry. Okay, guide to Daventry. So let's go ahead and let's do this. Copy. Go back up here. And we're going to go ahead and insert this in here. That'll be 1. Then down here, we're going to copy this ID. Copy. And back up here, we're going to put that as door number 2. I mean, oh. Control V. That's not right. Not the Minds of Sadness. Copy. Here, let's put this in here. Okay, Control V. Okay, got it. And so 1 is Daventry. Okay, and then so this is going to be Goblin Town. Copy. And that's up here. And we're going to go ahead and put that at the end here. It's a Goblin Town. All right. Yeah, let's see some here. That's these 3. That. Okay. So 1 and 2. Guide to Daventry, Goblin Town. Okay, so let's that's Daventry, this is Goblin Town. Okay, so let's go find Secrets of Goblin Town, copy. And what we're going to do is in here, Secrets of Goblin Town is going to be that one. Okay, but not only is this choice 1, but also it's page 7. So we want page 7, not page 6. So, okay, and then everything's good, right? And then, of course, the Romeo and Juliet. Copy. And since that's 1, we're going to make this 2. That, and that's 2, and that's 2, and that's fine. Okay, and now we're gonna go into here, and this is actually Guide to Daventry is going to be the second one. But okay, so the first one is going to be Romeo and Juliet, and it's going to be choice is going to be 1. That, and then 2 is Romeo and Juliet. No, that's not right. No, that's... Oh, 2 is not Romeo and Juliet, that's why. 2 is this Guide to Daventry. So let's go ahead and get the ID. And that's going to be for 2. So page 8 Guide to Daventry over here. So this is 1 and that's 2, like so. All right. So I saved the room data. And I realized that somewhere I'm missing I'm missing something. Well, these are missing. These have got to be Romeo and Juliet in here. So let's go ahead and add that. So Control V. No, Z. Forget that. This one. Okay, this one. P9 Romeo and Juliet. That. So it's going to be choice 1 here. So this one's going to be V. Home choice 1. Enter. And this one's also going to be choice 1. So door specs. And we're going to make that choice 1 as well. Okay. And then this one, I got to see what the problem is. That's the problem. Okay. Save room data. Reload. 16. And all it does is change. Now, that doesn't really look like a diamond anything there. It looks like a funny shape, but that doesn't really matter that much. Here. Oh, yeah, you know. Okay. Just a sec. Okay, there we go. That's about it. That's about it. And let's just go ahead and wait. All right. So let's do a thing here. This is the actual chapter title here, and then this is the first page, right? Okay. Okay, so far we got 14. It actually sits right in the sweet spot. Add a little few more, and this might actually end up going over the 20 pages. I had one chapter that did that as well because it was like 4 things, and so I gave them like 10 pages a piece. So this is going to be kind of similar. I'm going to try to keep it to less pages, but this one might actually be a biggie, so I'll go ahead and leave that as a biggie. That's all right. I might be able to combine, might be able to merge a couple of the title ones here too, for that matter. Kind of depends, really. Okay. 14 though. Time is up for this session. The next session, I'll probably complete those. I'll complete those pages so that that path is completely done, and then I can work on the other 2 paths, and we'll see if I can get them done in the same amount of time. Maybe we'll see. So, anyways, thanks everybody. I will probably see you after the break in about an hour. Thank you for watching part 1.